8 o'clock, so. Yes.
He's never late.
Well, Joe's connected.
Okay.
Good morning.
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 All right.
Well, we have a quorum. We just don't have our chairman.
That's weird.
I'll call him.
Yeah, he and I talked about it.
Just gotta hit on the thing, that's it.
I'll call him.
On.
There.
Oh,
I see everyone else got on okay.
With all you ladies here, I'm glad I shaved this morning.
I may have to mute this.
Oh, that's your dog?
Where are you, John? This is our meeting. Where are you?
Her? Yeah, see, there she is.
Oh, there she is.
oh.
Is it a
How are you
basset?
getting on? Let me help you.
She's a basset hound. She wants,
Okay.
you have to behave yourself.
Joan,
No,
the dog
that
has
is-
no vote.
That's not your meeting ID.
Did you hear that, Abby? No vote for you.
No, sweetie, that's for the regular meeting at 9:30. Your finance. All right, Joe,
He may-
since I have my, hang on here, since I have my phone and my computer engaged, meeting ID, please repeat it for John.
915, that's the one?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 15,
Johnny, do it again.
915 60 64
Hold it. 915
60 64
60
64
Yes, I love you.
03
right?
96.
96. Okay, let me give that back to you. 915-6064-0396.
Yes, correct.
All right, and then I don't have to have a password. I just hit pound, right?
Right.
Okay, I will call right now. Thank you. Thanks, Leslie.
Yep, bye. There he is. Don't laugh, I got all of you. Let's see.
Yeah, I
I
think-
took our Christmas picture and
That's
I,
the, Helena, you just gave him the ID number. He has to
Yes.
dial in by a different number.
Oh, he wants number. Yes, number is, oh,
He's
No,
got to
but it-
have the 929 number to dial in.
I think he had the
Oh.
number because he was trying to dial into the later meeting.
Oh, okay.
It's the
Yeah.
same. It's the same phone number. It's a
Oh,
different meeting
yes,
ID.
same phone,
That's
just
separate
like,
meeting IDs because we have to record the meetings to meet the
Separately.
yes, right. So I can post each meeting up because that's a requirement of the executive order that's allowing us to meet totally online.
Good morning.
oh,
good
good.
morning.
Hi, John.
Hi, how are you?
We're all good.
Sorry that I just got the wrong instructions.
You got he mess up the finance with board.
Okay, I'm listening.
That's cute.
All right, we're we're just
Did we do the Pledge of Allegiance?
we haven't done anything.
John,
Okay.
John, before you start, you have a quorum without me, so I cannot vote.
All right.
Oh no, you're the. No,
Shall we
Joe's
say the
one
Pledge of Allegiance first?
alternate.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of
Of the United
United States of
the United
America.
States of America
and
and to the republic for which it stands,
a nation,
one nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
liberty and
and
justice
justice
for all. Thank you. Helena, I see you're first on the agenda. Do you want to quickly just go through budget versus actual?
Yes, hold on, I gotta open. Joe, you wanna open that for that?
Yeah,
I guess
I'm
we'll
gonna
have-
share that right now. There it is.
Yeah,
This is a nice way of doing it. This is
Everybody
good.
see it?
Yep.
okay. The budget was actual, there's not a lot of, issue, right now. If you look at the first one page, is that summary, this 14,000, over budget on the original shuttle, mainly to, we had Ore, the $19,000 there, and we also have, three payroll, not five, three payrolls in January, so that's why. So that should level out. The odd, and then you'll see we have 14,000 Midshore over in the budget, and that's when you look at all of that, 14,950 is still in their budget. So we actually 14,900, almost 15,000. But that's fine. The only concern is we still have the extra mile. I just put it there. So in the February, this is up to February, and the February was 79,000, almost $80,000. And
Helena, is the extra mile built into the 1243 number?
which one, 423 number?
That's the total expenses through February.
Correct.
$1,243,000. That includes extra
Oh,
mile.
It's not. I keep the separate. So
Okay.
1,000, and we have 14 over there, so it's the less. So I just
No,
want to
but
show you.
here's my question. When I'm looking at the $1,243,000, that
No,
does not
it's-
include extra mile?
No, because we passed
Okay.
budget there. So yeah. So I
So our
that's why I
actual
checked.
expenses are up to about $1,301,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I don't, if you look here in the bottom, I separate extra mile, probably taxi and ADA, it's separate, so.
I understand. Does
Okay.
anyone have any questions on that or
Yeah,
we
John,
obviously have, hello?
John, I got a question on the expense side of this sheet. The labor shows over budget by $37,000 roughly, and the fringe benefits right underneath it are 16,000 under budget. They usually go hand in hand in the same direction. I'm wondering why why they seem to be out of whack here, that labor's over budget and fringe benefits are under budget. Helena, can you?
Well, because we, like I said, in the January, like once every 6 months, we have extra payroll. So, but benefits go like health insurance monthly. Health insurance goes by month. So it's 12 months, doesn't matter if they have extra payroll in that quarter or not. So this was January was extra payroll with around 40,000. So that's probably why.
But the other reason is that we budget a little higher on health insurance because we don't know what coverage level everybody's going to take.
That,
We usually budget more family, because we just don't know. If
whatever.
someone leaves during the year that's taking no coverage and someone comes in that's taking family, it would have a huge impact on us.
Okay, Joe, Helena, thank you.
That's a good answer. Any concerns on our revenue through February? Hello?
No,
Because it looks like we're under on the revenue. Is there some big miss? Is there a miss there, or is there something that didn't come through?
No.
John, are you looking at the fare box revenue?
Well, you said
I'm looking at the total revenue,
Haddam was behind, right?
159 versus 180.
You said Haddam was behind, right, Helena?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because that's
Yes.
what's low. Haddam.
Yes. Yes.
But I also know that the state, remember, the state was very behind this year in issuing the
Yeah, a little bit advertising was less.
municipal
Actually,
grant.
advertising, yes. And so, but
Okay.
overall, we
All right.
all,
Okay, I'm very fine. We can follow this up. Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay.
No,
Can I ask, are we going to cover separately, or do you want to talk about where we are in Extra Mile?
were you talking to me, John? Well, this is why I
Either
have.
you or Joe. Either you or
Okay.
Joe.
Okay. That's for expenses when I took revenue out, the 79,391 to there. That's
Well,
what
I'm
we,
not worried about the expenses. I'm worried about not being paid.
oh, okay. Well, I don't know. That's probably
No.
more to,
No, there's no answer yet, but
Okay.
I'm told that they are going to, the plan right now, they've had a lot of plans, so that's why I put it this way. But the plan right now is that they are going to put it in this federal money coming out. So when we apply for that, we'll
And
have
what's the time frame on that, Joe?
not 100%. So the way it'll work is we're waiting right now for split agreements from the state. This kind of goes into a future item, but once we get those split agreements, then we can apply for the federal money. Once we get the application in, which usually takes us a couple of days to turn around, it's up to 45 days to get the approval. That will then, so that money has pre-award authority through up to as far back as January 20th. So that will help from January 20th, and then they got to figure out something before that date. So we're probably, my guess is we're 2 to 3 weeks away from getting the split agreements. Maybe a month at the most, because everyone wants this money out. And everyone's putting in applications right now. So I think we're going to be in the 30 to 45 day range for FGA to get the grant all done. So figure 2 months from now, somewhere between 2 and 3 months. But we'll know a lot sooner if they actually did it. You know, as soon as the split agreements are prepared, I'll know if they did that or not.
Okay.
But that'll still be 50
Why
grand.
don't we move? Did you have another question, Susan?
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
Why don't we move? Are there any issues on the cash flow, Helena?
hold on a second. The only thing I want to show on the cash flow, when you look at there, that I didn't budget for May and June some money from, I didn't put ahead. I'm not sure how that will go. And AAA money, area agency, Middlesex Hospital, I didn't budget because they closed the program for now. And if you look at it seems we're still okay with our cash flow. We should have no problem.
Okay.
And okay.
All right. Well, now let's go to the agenda. And is there what do you want on the budget process for this year?
Well, the budget, we probably have to pass budget by end of June. Yeah, they extend something there, Joe was telling me. And
They have for transit districts, but they're asking for it, so.
well, our process, like it's always, if we have to pass budget by next board meeting, June 15 or something. We have to have at least 2 weeks publish the budget and the newspaper, because we have to have public hearing. That will be, we usually schedule on the same day as a board meeting, so that's 2 weeks before we should have a budget. So I think I will start working, so we still have a May, end of the May, we should have a budget, so we should schedule some workshops. Oops, hold on a second. I have to let my dog out. Go for it. And so we will have some workshops. So I don't know, I will think about it. I will email all the finance committee, some schedule. I don't have it today. And then we will decide what is work better for us so we can all meet maybe like this and talk about it.
Right, so normally.
I would say, if we do have a meeting like this, the first thing is, what I noticed is it was much easier to download the documents you sent us directly than going through the Google,
Okay,
on Google.
no problem.
And I would use the most convenient form for the board members. And then secondly, I would suggest that we talk about how we can make the meeting, because, you know, there's a lot of data we have to go through, and we may need to organize the meeting so you're kind of taking us through the information so that we pick up on all the major points. So it's a more
Okay.
directed meeting than, let's say, normally when we get together.
Okay.
I'm not worried about the size and everything like that. I'm just saying I found in other kind of Zoom meetings, having it so that you're directing us one point to one point to one point is helpful on something as complex as the budget.
Okay.
Joe,
We have a-
Any other questions on the budget?
I have a question about the process. The state has passed, or I think done an executive order, eliminating the need for towns to hold public hearings to get its budget passed. Is there any sense that Estuary Transit might be subject to that waiver?
I don't believe so, but because we have so towns are not only, it's not so much that they don't even have that, they're still having hearings, but they don't have to have a referendum
Right,
or a town meeting.
right.
We only have a hearing anyway, which we're allowed to do by, the way we're doing this right now.
Okay,
So I don't see that as an issue. It's just our normal process is that we have budget workshops that the finance committee gets together on, and that's what's going to be. It's more our normal process that's disrupted.
okay, thank you.
The public part's not that hard. So it's really how do we want to do things, and so I think what John just said is good. We just kind of need a timeline because, as Helena said, we will have to have let's see, we have a June 19th meeting. So if we want to adopt the budget in June 19th, we'll have to have a special meeting, at least 2 weeks before that. Well,
Okay,
more 2 weeks because it has to be published 2 weeks before the June 19th meeting in the paper.
so we want time before the special meeting.
So probably 3 weeks before June 19th,
Okay,
or 3 to 4 weeks, somewhere in that time frame.
Okay.
so why don't you and Alina send us, like, early next week, a couple of times that you think are the right times so we can all look at our calendars and get that locked in as opposed to waiting to the last moment.
Yeah, so that will be for the special meeting.
That's right, I understand.
And then, but then if we want finance committee meetings before, we got to figure out when we want those.
Okay, well, why don't you work out that time and then give us for the finance committee a couple different options from your scheduling and so forth that look good so that we can lock that into our calendars.
And how many meetings do you think we want on the finance committee side?
Well, this is subject to open discussion, but I would say one very good meeting would probably be sufficient.
Okay. And I mean, of course,
What?
of course, we could always add more if we feel we need to. But
Yeah, I think we can plan on one very good meeting, unless someone has is everyone else comfortable with that?
Sure.
One meeting should be enough.
Okay,
yeah, so we
then
know
let's plan on that.
Okay.
everything is different now.
By the way, just for records, all the meetings we're having with NOAA that have a public feature to it are now being allowed by the NOAA arrangements to be virtual meetings.
This is on our agenda, so anybody of the public can join. And then
Okay.
what we're required to do is post a transcript or recording of the meeting on our website afterwards. So that's why I had to do 2 Zoom meetings, so that
All right.
we can post this, because this is being recorded, and then we can post the board meeting to meet our FOI.
We have a couple of other extra items. Let's just quickly go through them. Any key financial points on COVID-19?
Joe, you put it there.
Yeah, so we've been tracking all of our expenses and our revenue loss, and there's a significant amount of both. So the increased cleaning, the increased cleaning of the offices, and then just the loss of all fair revenue. Now advertising revenue is dropping because advertisers can't pay. So,
And these are the ones in the schedule you gave us that add up to about 11,700.
Yes.
yeah, that was
Okay.
so far. PHP is closed, so we're losing that revenue. AAA, we can't bill. We're not doing rides, so we can't bill them. And as I said, advertising, we're figuring just losing all of our revenue these 3 months because they can't. Advertisers are saying they can't pay, and they're asking we'll defer revenue. And I said I would just ask if everyone on the board was okay with just saying we'll just get these businesses our half of the share. They're all local businesses. Let them take half off their bill, at least on our end, from as long as it's from us. They know we're trying to help them. I think it would be a nice gesture.
I don't have a problem with that.
It's little money for us, and it's going to be money that will
Does
cover.
that mean you're going to go out and paint the buses the green color so Leslie has a month and a half? Hello?
We'll let them get free. Let them promote their businesses for a few months for free on us.
Does anyone have a disagreement with Joe's advertising assumption?
No.
No,
Okay, with that, what is the CARES Act funding? Is that what you
So-
talked about earlier?
Yes. So that is the $25 billion for transit that was included in the CARES Act. The CARES Act was the large over $2 trillion COVID-19 response bill. And Connecticut's going to get almost $500 million from that, of all 100% federal money to be split amongst all the transit operators in the state, which includes rail, bus and rail. So that's what we're going through now, is kind of negotiating the split there. The first thing that we are doing is making sure everyone gets totally made whole for all expenses, revenue loss. Plenty of money, if that's not going to be an issue. It's 3 times our normal federal allocation. So it's a significant amount of money. State. And there should be plenty left over after that. And that's kind of the stuff that is going to be more contentious with the state. So it's seems to be trying to hold on to as much as they can from the state. But
Joe, may I interrupt you for a minute?
Sure.
Just to remind everybody that our actual board meeting starts in about 4 minutes. So if you could wrap this up so we can dial back in again, that would be great.
We'll go over it more, but that's kind of where this funding stands right now. I think the big point takeaway from it is that we expect that every expense related to this will be covered. All revenue loss related to this will be covered, and we'll be made whole through this 100% federal.
Well, any other questions, or we'll just adjourn now?
What about the audit
One
contract?
final, the comment on the audit contract.
Oh, yes. So we were supposed to go out to bid this year for the audit. Obviously, it's not going to be a good time to be out to bid since everyone's closed and who knows what's going to happen. So we were thinking of just doing a 1-year extension, which is under our RFP amount. So we can do that with just the approval of chairman and treasurer. So as long as everyone's okay with this audit firm.
Does anyone have a disagreement with that?
No,
Okay, in that
That's
case,
good.
I think you've got a sense that, that the finance committee approves it, Joe.
Okay, great. And that's kind of, I just wanted to check with the finance committee. I mean, I don't think the rest of the board would have an issue with that. Again, I think we all agree it's not a good time to go out to bid. So,
All right, thank you, everyone. And I now understand why I was dialing up the wrong number, because I didn't read the bottom of the agenda. My fault. I'll see you in the board meeting, and I'll hear you in the board meeting in a couple minutes. Bye.
Bye.
so we have to go shut down here and start another one, right?
yes,
Yeah.
for the recording purposes, we need to do that.
So I'll get my technical person in here. Hey, Linda. My technical supervisor just arrived.
No, what are we doing now?
That's all dead now.
Oh, it's all dead now?
We're gonna go to the other one.
All right, now let's see how you do that. Okay, we'll leave this meeting, leave me.